Greetings, my beautiful lovelies. It's Emmy. How are you? It's great to see you and welcome back. Today, we are going to be making 10-minute pookies. Pookies. When I first heard about this recipe, the first thing I thought of, because I have a couple of middle school aged children, I thought of Pookie. Hey Pookie, the brain rot Pookie. But apparently pookies can also be pancake cookies, which we are going to be making today. This recipe intrigued me first, number one, for the name, and because you can make them and cook them all in 10 minutes. That means bake time of 8 minutes and mixing it all together in 2 minutes. 10 minutes, you get pookies. So what is a pookie? A pookie is a portmanteau of a pancake and a cookie. The recipe I'm going to be using today comes from Caillou Kitchen over on the TikToks. And that reminds me of that show that my preschoolers used to watch, Caillou. So everything you need to make pookies are here. You also need a blender or some sort of whizzer-upper. You could use a food processor, I imagine, but because these are pretty small amounts, a smaller size thing would be better, like a magic bullet or something like that. I'm gonna use my blender. I hope that works, but I guess we're gonna find out. We are going to need a small banana, and as you can see, my banana is green. So that means it is very starchy. These starches have not been converted to sugars yet. We don't have a nice bright yellow peel, no blackening, no dots, which are all signs of a ripe banana, which we like to use for baked goods because of the sweetness and strong, yummy banana flavor. So I don't know if this has happened to you. I imagine it has, but sometimes you just feel like I want banana bread, or in this case, I want pookies, but I cannot find a ripe banana. What do? Oven's up to temp. My gosh, why does it have to be so alarming? And like, why can't it be friendly? Lost my train of thought. I was talking about bananas and what to do when you want a ripe banana. Now, I remember for a long time ago, they said put your bananas in a brown paper bag, and the ethylene gas that is released from the banana, which causes it to ripen, will be trapped and will hasten the whole ripening process. They also say you can put bananas with avocados with the same idea that the ethylene gas will ripen both the avocado and the banana. But that doesn't really help me have banana bread right now. So this is a perfect opportunity to try out something that I've wanted to try since I read it quite a while ago. It's by Stella Parks. She's the author of Brave Tart. Love that cookbook. But this trick uses amylase, which is an enzyme that the banana actually produces on its own. Ethylene gas also produces enzymes in the banana that help ripen the banana, including amylase, which breaks down the starch into sugars and makes your banana sweet. Well, amylase, that enzyme, is also contained in eggs, more specifically egg yolks. So according to Stella, you can just take your unripe banana and mash it up with the egg yolk. She's presuming you're making banana bread or some recipe that contains egg. So you mash it up with the egg yolk, let it sit for half an hour. And she did some tests measuring the amount of starch, and sure enough, the starch was converted into sugars. I love science, food science especially. She said Harold McGee also writes about this in his On Food book, which if you love food science, you should check that out too. All kinds of great food science. In fact, do I have it here? Harold McGee, where are you? So here's Stella's book, Brave Tart, fabulous. And here's Harold McGee's book on food and cooking, The Science and Lore of the Kitchen. Highly recommend too if you're interested at all in food science. It's great. It's one of the first like cookbook like books I bought. No, actually this was given to me by my honey. I love little dedications and notes. Okay, we'll stop. So I've got a baking pan prepared with parchment, and before I started filming, I took my unripe banana, whizzed it up in my blender along with my 1 egg yolk. This recipe contains 1 egg, so I will put the egg white in here as well. But the amylase is in the egg yolk, so that will sweeten up our unripened banana. Now, if you have a ripe banana, you don't have to do any of that, right? Which we're presuming, because that will make this a 10-minute recipe. So, interesting. My banana has definitely oxidized. It has turned brown. Next, we're going to add the rest of our ingredients. We're gonna add the egg white. So this recipe was written in grams, but I know many of you do not have a scale. So I put everything in measuring cups, and it's about 1/4 cup of granulated sugar. And to poof these up, we're gonna use some baking powder. Add that to there. Some flour, about 3/4 of a cup. And about 1/3 cup of dark chocolate. Yum. I'm just gonna whiz this until it's mixed up. Don't wanna break up the chocolate too much. The recipe looked like a thin batter, but mine looks like a thick batter. Oops. Maybe because my banana was a little small? I don't know. Maybe. Look, it's pretty thick. Now we're gonna dole these out onto a pan, and it makes 6 pookies. See how mine is kind of dough-like? In the recipe video, theirs are pretty liquid. I don't know, I followed the recipe. So hopefully yours will be thinner. Maybe my banana was on the small side. Didn't really say the size of the banana, it just said banana. I'm making a mess, but that's all right. That's what you do in the kitchen. Okay, so there are my pookies. I'm gonna spread them out a little bit because these are supposed to be kind of like pancakes. That's why they're called pookies. Just a little. And now we're gonna pop these into a 350-degree oven and bake them for 8 minutes. That's it. And then we got pookies. So I'll see you in 8 minutes. Alrighty, my lovelies, here we have it. The baked pookies. They look a lot like puffy cookies. The pookies that were in the TikTok video I saw were much thinner and more pancake-like. So perhaps there's a little bit of user error here, I'm not sure, but they don't look too bad. A little pale, but definitely puffy. And I don't know, these are hot out of the oven. So super hot. I use really good quality chocolate, so there's that. All right, let's give these a taste. Wow, these are really hot. Ooh, look at that. Steaming hot. Pretty thick, cooked all the way through. Alrighty, my first pookie. Eat the Lucky Mouse. Reminds me a lot of banana bread, but not as sweet. The texture is quite cakey, much more pancakey like and cakey in my case because mine are pretty thick than a cookie, and far less sweet than a traditional cookie you would have here in the States. Definitely approve of using some good quality dark chocolate. Delicious, but not very sweet. So don't expect these to be very sweet. And in that sense, it's much more similar to a pancake. Just kind of lightly sweetened. Banana flavor is present, but not super strong. Again, if you were to use a super ripe banana, I think that flavor would come out much more pronounced, but it's definitely present. But yeah, it reminds me a lot of banana bread, kind of in a pancakey, thick pancake form, fluffy pancake form. Definitely more fluffy pancake than cookie, even though it looks kind of by gestalt, perhaps more like a cookie, but when you feel it, it's more kind of bready and soft and fluffy and cakey, rather than being chewy or crackly or crunchy or even having a crisp exterior. It doesn't have any of those qualities at all. It's much more kind of bready or even like muffin-like. Yeah, I would say that. Not as sweet as a cupcake, or definitely not as sweet as banana bread or zucchini bread. Much more like a pancake. So it is an appropriate name, pookie. Flavored more like a pancake, but has the outward appearances of a cookie. It's okay. In a nutshell, if you want a quick and easy little snack or breakfast, it definitely could come together in 10 minutes if you have a ripe banana. maybe before work for breakfast or something. Maybe this is for you. Is it faster than pancakes? Yeah, I would say it's a bit faster than pancakes. Pancakes you have to cook on a griddle after you make the batter. So there's that. All right, my lovelies, there you have it. 10-minute Pookies. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that one. I hope you learned something. Please share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media, like this video, subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one. Toodaloo, take care, bye! We're gonna let the kids try these and see what they think.